Greetings there, and welcome to Los Angeles Trade Technical College. We are standing in the Advanced Transportation Manufacturing Department's lab area. I would like to introduce to you our college's newest training aid acquisition. My name is Albert Semadeni, and I teach the class for hybrid electric vehicle and fuel cell technologies here at the college. I would like to introduce this very neat kit that is available, and we were able to acquire it through a grant for support for our classes, the learning, the teaching, and also as a concept reception tool. So I would like to show you a few things about the vehicle, which are pretty neat, and hopefully you like it.
As you can see here in the dashboard, we have a center drive, and we have, of course, everything you need to be street legal on this vehicle. You have your turn signals and brakes and everything.
Some of the key components here on the dashboard are some of the switches and some of the displays which allow the operator or the driver to more closely monitor the energy and the consumption and the efficiency. There's a couple of toggle switches here for brake regeneration, which recovers the energy. You can turn that on and off. You can also have an economy switch, so you can further increase the efficiency of the vehicle. You have an energy display at the current moment that you're using it. You have a computer analyst which is telling you more specific information what you're doing. Of course, you have the big red button which you can push and kills everything for safety. And you have your ignition switch, your voltage for the auxiliary power, and the direction switch.
Forward and reverse.
Let me show you some of the other stuff that is around. Along with our big red button on the dashboard that when you press it, everything stops. The car is stopped, fully dead. We also have in the seat a harness that protects the occupant not only at his lap, but also over his shoulders and away through the back completely. So if the vehicle ever rolls over or has a drastic accident like this, the occupant will be safe in there. I would like to point out as well that unlike the conventional vehicles that we have here as training aids too, you cannot access with ease any of the separate or specific systems that we need to cover here. As you can see here, everything is open. Right here we can show the low voltage panel junction rail right there. And everything is accessible where the student can just access it and run tests and check for data and voltages and all those things. They're wide open. These are two brakes. It has front brakes and a rear brake, so they're separate. And in here we have the high voltage stuff. Now this is where the safety comes into play with a big issue. So I'd like to show you what's inside and explain to you how the safety applies to the stuff that is in there. If you take the cover or the hood, which is very easily done, and you put it aside, you can see that inside we have a high voltage battery pack, which is a bunch of cells put together, hooked up in series to increase the voltage. We have about 110, 112 volts in here, which is dangerous
to the touch.
So the cables are clearly red for warning, and that's why the emphasis of the class, that the students have to watch out for those.
This is the high voltage battery management system controller, along with the energy controller on the other side. And then farther to the side, we have the electric vehicle charger conditioner.
And then we have down there a rail junction board, which all the electrical circuits are there.
And then coming up, we have a little connector there, which protrudes outside to the high voltage battery pack. This is your J1772 grid charge connector for the adapter to charge the high voltage battery through the cables.
As you guys can see, this is very accessible and it has great potential, but just having the student directly engage the circuits without having to take the entire car apart, like dashboards and mud guards and all those panels that they are cumbersome and take time. So the potential here is great. Now I'd like to take you to the back so you can see the other stuff toward the back for the traction control. Walk around here to the back, right behind the seat. We have the motor control and electronics that has to do with a few of the things that I like to point out. First and foremost, we can have a cover that is, of course, clearly for protection. We don't want anybody touching any of the orange and high voltage cables. But it's good for explanation and point out things to the students at the beginning of the class.
We have the 12-volt battery, just a conventional vehicle battery.
We have a DC to DC converter to power all the lights, the conventional lights. We have a rail junction board for the control box. And right here, one of the key items is the AC motor control. This module gets the high voltage battery from the high voltage battery up front, and it conditions it according to the load request, and it sends it back to the electric motors, a 3-phase synchronous AC motor. Very powerful little guy here. It has a chain-driven sprocket down to the back wheel right here, which actually propels the entire vehicle. As you can see, all these areas are easily accessible. And that's very important because that's a time-consuming thing that you have to take things apart to have access.
So the students can see what they are going to do, directly engage, measure voltage, run tests, check out circuits and motors and controllers and such like that.
It's an excellent and time-saving little training aid. A couple of things that I would like to mention here, which are important, is number one, how this kit holds a lot of potential with it. It can be not only, of course, used in the department that it's going to be used under, but also other departments can be included in the assembly or the learning or the application for the kit itself. For instance, our collision department and their students actually sanded and painted the frame of this vehicle before we put it together. So it shows a cooperation between departments in a cohort perspective that brings us together more and more here at Los Angeles Trade Technical College, and that is also an important thing. Also, and lastly, I would like to mention the people who this kit came from. They are from up north, and they're, primarily his name is Peter Oliver. He's the representative for the company, which the name is the Switch Lab, and they're great people. They're knowledgeable, they're great on assistance, and they advise you on all the things that you need to do in order to put this kit together. And of course, they also share the same mindset that we share here to help people learn and understand newer technologies that our market is developing. Thank you.